Welcome everybody. We're going to continue our series of learning about jazz on the drum set in our real world category, things that drummers actually play. It's not just exercises, although exercises are great. I recommend checking out the warm-ups that we have for a lot of exercises. But jazz as a conversational language, maybe a little bit more so than rock or certain styles of funk or things like that, that are much more about just kind of keeping the same thing steady time after time. Jazz has a little bit more built-in interaction between the drums, the piano, the bass, and whatever horn player or vocalist is creating different melodies and improvising. And so that means that we're going to be doing some different things with accompanying, or in jazz parlance, talking about comping. All right. So this is what piano players are doing when they're backing up a soloist and they're not playing a melody or something like that. They're interacting with chords, these little jabs. 1, 2, pop, 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 ba, boo, da, 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 ba, 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 da, ba. And the left hand of the drummer. So, or if you're setting up in a left-handed position, that means your right hand. Whatever is kind of has snare drum as home base is going to be joining in that same sort of conversational back and forth with the soloist, as well as what the piano player is doing, playing these comping rhythms. So I'm just going to play that a little bit, and so you can hear what it sounds like on the drum set on itself. I'm going to have my regular spang-spang-a-lang, 1, 2, 3, 4 rhythm on the ride cymbal, feathering the bass drum on all 4 beats, hi-hat on 2 and 4, and then I'm going to improvise some comping rhythms with my snare drum. Listen to this. 1, 2, 3, and... Probably noticed that I was doing some accents, getting definitely some different stick heights, and even some stroke types, getting some buzzes, and I ended there with a rim shot. So left hand can do a lot of different things. Let's try adding in some rhythms with, hopefully is getting to be a steady ostinato. We're just going to play ride cymbal. You can do whatever variation you're most comfortable with. If you want to go as far as having skip notes, that's great. I'm just going to play quarter notes, and with my 2 and 4 accent, feather all 4 beats, hi-hat on 2 and 4. And what I want you to do is try to repeat the rhythms that I play on the snare drum at, I guess we're thinking of 1-bar phrases. So I might play bop, bop, then you'd play gok, bop. I'd play bop, 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 bop. So 1-bar phrases. 1, 2, 3, 4, repeat. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, repeat. 2, 3, 4. And I'm probably going to repeat the same idea, a bunch of times before I move on to something new. So if you don't get it the first time, try and get the second or third or fourth. All right, let's try this. But you'll be playing your ride cymbal ostinato, bass drum, and a hi-hat, or what we call jazz time, throughout all of this comping. Here we go. So I'll play a bar, you play after me. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and... All right, so some of that was probably pretty challenging, but what you want to do is just listen and just get a sense of how that's going to coordinate. So for one of those first ideas, we can see that as being strokes where we play together on beat 1, 1, 2, and. Then it's going to happen in between the hands. If you're doing skip beats, it's going to line up with a skip beat there, okay? So don't feel bad about slowing things down, taking it out of context, but use these as examples for what it's supposed to sound like, all right? I'm going to try just a couple more, and we're going to go from there. Still keeping my 4 on the floor ostinato, 2 and 4 on the hi-hat. I'm still going to go with quarter notes with the 2 and 4 accent on the ride cymbal. This is still kind of the straightforward jazz beat. 1, 2, 3, and. Okay, so if that's going smooth for you, you're in great shape. Go ahead and speed things up if you like to, but don't do it at the expense of losing your clarity and your balance within the kit. Remember, we talked about listening to Jimmy Cobb playing on Freddie Freeloader. The reason that all of the things he's doing are nice and clear are because it's balanced, under control, and that's what makes things swing. It just has his own personal touch, and it doesn't sound like he doesn't know what he's doing, because he's one of the masters, And even though he was doing that at maybe a kind of a younger age, he had hours and hours and hours of practice, hours of time playing along with other people, developing that swing feel. And so if you don't get it right away, don't worry about it. It takes lots of time and practice. So go ahead, listen to Jimmy Cobb on Freddie Freeloader. See if you can identify some of those ideas that he's playing with his left hand. He's also doing some stuff with his bass drum. It's all kinds of great stuff. So do some listening, do a lot of playing along with that track, and you're going to be in good shape. All right, have fun. Thanks.